Here's the exact details that Jake Paul revealed on the Ariel Helwani show about the Tank Davis fight. It was going to be an exhibition fight. There was no restrictions. 195 pounds, 10 3-minute rounds. What in the world? What the heck? I mean, this when we look at this fight, it makes absolutely no sense. For Jake Paul and his theory of what he wants to do, obviously going out there making a lot of money, big fights, so on and so forth, it fits his bill, yes. But what is Tank Davis doing? When we look back on Tank Davis, unless this is a false thing that does not come to fruition, Tank Davis goes out there and fights Lamont Roach, take care of his business against Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, those guys. If he doesn't go out there and finish off his career strong, is he even a Hall of Fame fighter? Now, don't get it twisted. Does he have the potential to be a Hall of Famer? Is he having exceptional talent that could have accomplished so many great things? Absolutely. But for whatever reason, Tank Davis is not concerned with the fact of wanting to become a world champion and an all-time great. And if he's just in it for the money, then that's fine. So be it. Go do these things. But doing an exhibition when you're still in your physical prime and you're in the later ends of your physical prime, and there's so many big fights you could be making, but yet you want to go out there and pursue a fight with Jake Paul, and you even had a Jake Paul fight lined up. Listen, let's go back when we were already complaining about the Lamont Roach fight. Obviously, we were wrong. Lamont Roach proved himself. We were wrong in that situation. But when Lamont Roach got announced, we were all disappointed as boxing fans. Why was he pulling up a guy from 130 to go fight him? It still was a little bit odd when you had guys perfectly suited to go fight you at 135 to unify. However, let's just throw that aside. We were already upset with Tank Davis for that standpoint. And then you were going to go throw in the standpoint that in the mix of all this, he was negotiating a fight for an exhibition against Jake Paul. I mean, could you imagine if he were to go take care of Lamont Roach in that fight, ended up looking like a trash fight, and then he went on to fight Jake Paul? Listen, this resume that Tank Davis is putting together and currently has is not going to put him with the all-time greats that he had the potential of being at because of the God-given ability of him. His God-given ability for Tank Davis has the potential to be one of those guys of this generation, a guy that has such an incredible legacy, has a guy that will be remembered as a Hall of Famer, so on and so forth. The Tank Davis that has now lived out his career to this point is not going to be a guy that likely will make the Hall of Fame. The Tank Davis that we have seen to this point that wants this fight with Jake Paul is not going to be the guy that's going to go put together this resume that's going to be remembered as an all-time great. A memorable fighter, sure. A guy that had great knockouts, yes. But not the type of guy that he had the potential of reaching. He might be up here, let's say, but his potential, what he could have accomplished if he were so focused, locked in, and worried about legacy, could have been all the way up here. He's going to be remembered because of his name. But when we talk about legacy and the guys of this generation, the all-time great boxers, he's not anywhere near that category because of the fact that he won't fight these guys. He's too concerned with the paycheck, too concerned with these guys like Jake Paul. And it is an embarrassment to go want to set up a fight for an exhibition fight against Jake Paul in the middle of your physical prime. Absolutely embarrassing. There's no reason for him to be doing that. And when you look back on his career and you really look back and see these fights that he's been doing, what does his record really say? What does his resume really look like to you? Because when I look at the resume, that's not a resume that I look to and I say, this is a guy that's going to make the Hall of Fame. What is on that resume that stands out to you? Lamont Roach looks like a good fight now. That's a draw. But Lamont Roach was once again pulled up from 130 to 135 to fight him. He had every opportunity to go make himself an all-time great. You have the likes of Shakur Stevenson. You getting a Shakur Stevenson win would have done massive things for his career. Keyshawn Davis, let's settle for that. Lomachenko wanted the fight when he actually was ready not to retire. All those would have been great fights. But no. At 140, you could have done something else. The weight clauses, all these different components just add up to make this career quite suspicious, if you ask me about Tank Davis. There's no reason that all should have happened. So, Jake Paul says this fight could be on. I hope to God it's not on. I hope we do not see Jake Paul versus Tank Davis in an exhibition fight this year. I hope we get to see Tank Davis live out the fruition of how great his God-given ability is. I hope we get to see Tank Davis go fight Shakur Stevenson. Go fight a Keyshawn Davis. Go make your mark and go fight big-time guys. Unify. Do something with your career that means something for boxing. He has the potential. And that's what drives me crazy. Tank Davis has all the God-given ability to become an all-time great in this sport. To become a Hall of Famer. He could become so much better than what he is. But his lack thereof desire to become an all-time great, to become a Hall of Famer, to reach the magnitude of what his God-given potential is dwindled his entire career to this point now. And so it's up to him how he's going to finish out. But what I will say is if Jake Paul's on your list for what you want to accomplish, your career is just not going to be respected very well. And that's just a fact.